Hello, Marketers Brief listeners. This is Adrienne Pasquarelli, Senior Editor of CMO Strategy and Commerce at Ad Age. Today we're previewing a new series for you, Ad Age's CMOs on CMOs. Each episode will feature two CMOs discussing the trends, changes, and trials of being a top brand marketer. In this first episode, Andrea Collins, CMO of Hippo Insurance, and Liz Vanzura, CMO of Solo Stove, talk about how they're training their teams on AI workflows, including how you can get started if you haven't. They also discuss the power of grassroots marketing tactics. Or you can watch the video version at adage.com/CMO. Stay tuned for more episodes in the coming months. We'll share them here on the Marketers Brief feed, or you can subscribe to the Ad Age Special Edition podcast on your favorite podcast platform to never miss an episode of CMOs on CMOs. Enjoy the episode!
Hey, Liz.
Hi there.
What brand is inspiring to you these days?
Okay, now this is going to seem like a little bit of a cop-out, but I really loved what Pepsi did during the Super Bowl to Coke. And I follow Coke and Pepsi and sort of was obsessed with Coke for a while because they were using AI very early on and using content. So they were sort of a game changer. And then they ran into, they did a lot of creativity with the Polar Express and all of that. But this Super Bowl, what really caught my attention was how Pepsi turned that around and took their polar bear who had an existential crisis on the couch. And because he did the taste test, so they modernized something that they've been known for, which is a taste test of their consumers, which product tastes better, and Pepsi tasted better. So they used that for a whole integrated Super Bowl campaign. And I found that super inspiring. And, especially with challenger brands and how they're always, taking on the others. So that was the one that caught my attention. Andrea, so what are the hot topics that you're focused most on with your team?
That's a good question. One of the primary things that we focus on is the integration of AI and creating an AI native workforce. That is across my team, but across the company as a whole. Some of the different ways that I have found to integrate it with my team is to find several folks who kind of stood up and stood out as being interested in it and creating team ambassadors out of those groups.
We call that the curious learners, right?
Love that title. Yep,
right? Is that
absolutely.
What you're finding in your company?
Spot on. We're finding a couple people that not only want to play around with it, but get really excited about some of the results.
Interested in it and take it on themselves.
Hands down. Yeah. And I think it does have to be, it's scary for some, it's exciting for some. And I think utilizing the people that are excited by it and integrating some of their learnings and excitement into the people that are nervous about it. And then really setting up some solid guidelines and understanding around how AI can actually make a difference and provide more efficiency. It's not necessarily about replacing campaigns or replacing any of the decisioning. It's enhancing, supporting ideation, supporting efficiency. We created this incredible Claude skill that cut our efficiency or brought our efficiency up, but cut our time between legal and marketing reviews down in half.
Have you found that similarly we're using Claude as well? And are you finding that your creatives are actually adopting? Our creatives look forward to seeing what our Claude reports say is working and not working so that we can emphasize the things that are driving traffic and driving contribution margin and do more of that and less of this if it isn't working. So they find it fascinating and look forward to those reports. Are your creatives embracing it as well?
They absolutely are. They found some of their own tools, but even when we integrated Claude into our overall workforce, they found really interesting ways to use it to be able to drive focus group alignment and understanding. We even helped decide the voice of our AI agents against our customer service AI agents, against our personas and brand guidelines.
See, that's great. We're finding similarly, we created personas. It gives us a chance to bounce things off of them early.
Yep.
And get their take on it. Our personas were kind of arguing with each other, which was really fun. And then we also compare it to real live customer data and keep making it smarter and smarter. One area that we found really helped too is we created we call her almost a digital teammate. Her name is Ember, and she helps you on our website sort of track if you have a question, which fire pit is best for us. You can ask Ember, or what promotions are running now, and it helps you through the journey. So I'm not sure if you guys have adapted that, but that's been something that was a big game changer for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have AI agents that supports our service team and our claims organization.
And you probably have to check it too, right? For errors. Like we're constantly doing that. You can't ever just let them go, but.
Well, particularly in insurance, there's a lot of compliance and regulation, and we are absolutely on top of that. Where the human touch needs to come in is never questioned. I think what AI agents are doing for us and in the insurance industry as a whole is creating more opportunity for those human touches to come in at times when it's most important to the customer. So, and to the point of, Evie, did you say on your website?
Yeah.
We have Hannah.
No, Ember. Ember is ours.
Got it. Okay.
You got to chat with Ember.
Ember, good old Ember, right?
Like Solo Stove, exactly.
Everybody's got a funny name, and I think a lot of them are acronyms, it's fun.
Make it more, exactly.
Yeah.
So did you train Ember this month on our promotions?
We have Clara and Hannah.
Okay.
And we played around with
teammates.
Should everything, because we're Hippo, should everything start with an H? Honestly, we used Claude to help us define that was not the right path.
That's funny.
Our personas said, no, that's a little too kitschy.
Yeah.
But Clara is a much more trustworthy name.
Yeah.
and so that's how we're rolling those pieces out.
Clara to Ember.
I know. Exactly. Have them chat. How are you? We talked a little bit about AI integration into the workforce. How are you pulling people forward that may not be that are a little more reluctant, that may not be as eager to use AI? It sounds like you've had a lot of good use cases, but I'm sure there's still some reluctance.
Yeah, I think what helped our team get really interested is we are a very AI forward company, and our CEO is very AI forward. So that always helps. The top senior people are very much interested in it. And what helped bring along some others is when we showed them some data and analytics with using AI, we built an MMM model, which has been a game changer for us, which helps us make decisions on media, for example. But you can what if with your data. And when we showed that scenario to others that may have been a little bit more reluctant, and they saw, wow, this gives you really good analysis. It's only maybe 80-85% correct. It gets you pushed along the way, but you definitely need the human checks. You need to verify the data. But if it shows results, it actually pulled a lot of people in that were a little more skeptical, and now they're playing with it. And it sort of helps spread that culture. So I do think it's the senior folks on our team, but also we have a lot of others. And we just touched on that, the curious learners that were like, these are great tools. We can see how they can make our life easier, our workflow easier, and have adopted it. And that has helped. Also, I'd call lunch and learns have been a really helpful tool for us to just bring people in who just want to learn and can ask silly questions or ask any question they want and bring them along.
Yeah, it really is playing with it, right? And some people just instinctively don't want to carve out the time for that or aren't comfortable with it.
Right?
Absolutely.
So you need people to kind of figure out, here's all the tools out there, but this one's a really good one. Let's focus on that. Otherwise, you can get lost in it and very intimidated.
So Liz, what is one tip that you have for a team that's struggling to integrate AI?
So lunch and learns, that's if you haven't been implementing those are really great. And then in those lunch and learns, the tip is take your worst project on your list and see what tool that AI you could use to help make that a little easier for you. And so what is your tip? What would be one tip you would use to help get your team to adapt AI?
Yeah, we've had a lot of luck in terms of building excitement around AI through specific use cases. So when we rolled it out, we developed specific use cases that people could kind of tool around with and play around with per practice area and per team lead. I think that helped people get engaged.
See what could happen.
Yeah, get engaged and interested in it.
Yes.
We just talked about a couple of ideas internally that are more around gamification. So kind of rewarding the
people,
behavior.
Rewarding people for developing their own ideas and show and tell.
Yeah.
Show the group what you came up with.
And lastly, I think being very very transparent about what AI is surfacing versus where you're bringing in that human touch, even in internal presentations, makes a huge difference.
Surfacing where the errors might be and how we're fixing it. So
this is what Claude said.
Exactly.
This is what my team built, and this is the overall recommendation.
Yeah,
right?
we often are saying, "What did my friend Claude say about this?"
Right?
And
Exactly.
using it like a second brain,
Yep.
with you. So, sure. Andrea, in this day and age of cost cutting and everybody watching their budgets, is there anything that you're protecting, or what's one thing that you're seeing really working for you?
Absolutely. I think that we're seeing a variety of different content opportunities work for us, but it really is that one-to-one interaction and engagement that I'll never lose in D2C. You have to be able to talk directly to the customer. I can't say how valuable it is for internal employees as well to be able to drive some of those conversations and learn.
Experiential events right with your customers.
Exactly. So we started in the very early days with grassroots campaigns. We had a series of different hippos, plaster cast hippos that we brought to farmers markets. We started in Texas originally, so Dallas, Austin, and Houston. We had local artists come out and paint these hippos, and then we had small hippos the kids could paint and take home, and then the large hippos that were beautifully done were donated to a local either children's hospital or children's museum.
So
and then
important, right?
It's like
bring the brand to
loop
life.
it all back together, right? Build trust, build understanding that you are part of the community, that's coming back in.
We are seeing similar. We call it the NFL Players Tailgate around the Super Bowl for Solo Stove. Similar space where we found customers really wanted to touch and feel our products and experience them for real. A lot of fatigue around so much AI and digital, and really wanting to kick the tires, as they say, with our griddles and our pizza ovens and actually make a s'more, have a conversation with people.
Yeah. It's great for we have a product you can't touch and feel. And it's so incredible to me that both tangible and untangible products, it comes together in a conversation with the customer.
And we're finding our customers, that was where they wanted to gather. They learned about our products. They talked about it. Our biggest fans told us, this is my favorite s'more. This is what I like to do when I relax at night with my family. This is how togetherness happens. That's what we always say. We don't really just sell smokeless fire pits. We sell togetherness. And so we were gathering people together at the tailgates at the Super Bowl. And we did the squash the beef competition where if you had a beef, you submitted it as a fan. And mine was that the Detroit Lions somehow never make it into the playoffs. And so we got to squash that on our griddle, and people just loved it. Fans were sending it in. So if you can engage your community, which it sounds like you did, in something and bring your brand to life, that's what we've been leaning into. And it sounds like that's been a good tactic for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you seeing opportunity to do more grassroots these days?
We are absolutely leaning into that. We did the Super Bowl tailgate. We did a South by Southwest activation. We did a draft party activation, anything where we can kind of show our products like a dream backyard and let customers interact, and then a fun way for them to engage with us, plus a community piece.
Yep.
We donated a lot of our food from that to food banks, around, and all of that matters.